So one thing which we can or which we have to know is what kind of data set we are working on. So let's say if we are working on only on American or UK kind of data, which is basically English, there is no Chinese characters or Japanese characters or any other character, Nordic characters basically. Then the population with or the data which is utilized for creating tokens is utilized with what kind of license which we are holding up. Okay. So in that, normally what Informatica provides is a fuzzy population data. Right? But let's say if we have Chinese or Japanese character, then we take the population file for generating the tokens for translations basically, so that the tokens can be generated accordingly. They gave us another file for population, which is international. So in that UTF-8 characters comes into play. Okay. So first thing is that which particular translation file or tokenization file, we call it as population file, we'll be utilizing in our project. Okay. And in 99% of the cases, people actually go with international population file. Okay. Then there are certain other properties which we can see over here is manual. First is consolidation file. Just the above four are what we have over here. These are the counts for that, nothing else. The second thing is maximum matches for manual consolidation. So for a single record, if it's an auto merge, you can have more number of records. But when we talk about manual merges, these population or the record counts for consolidation or for getting all those records merged into one, right? The candidate record count becomes 1,000. That from 1,000 records, you can create one single record in a manual merge. That is what a default property is set. So if we increase that or decrease that, we won't see much difference. The question is why? Because I haven't seen in my career that any record is going beyond 20 records. But if you, let's say, if you have 1,000 records for manual consolidation, what that means is that you have very bad data in place, correct? Because you are stating that around 1,000 records are there which are duplicate per record. That is not true, right? Second thing is number of rows per match job cycle is 10. Why 10? Because there would be multiple strategies or multiple attributes which will be contributing to check if it's a match or not. If we decrease that, we will end up in impacting the system, as we will see a delay in matching. But if we increase that, then it will require more memory to pass through. Okay. Then what kind of match strategy we are utilizing? There are two types of strategies, fuzzy and exact. If we are going with exact, then we won't be able to use fuzzy population, or we won't be able to create fuzzy. Fuzzy means probabilistic over here. It will give us percentage that, okay, this particular record is getting matched with another record as 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, like that. But exact will either give you 0 or it will give you 100. So that's why we are utilizing fuzzy as match strategies. So fuzzy involves exact as well as fuzzy, both. Now other are match previous row ID objects. If we use this attribute, then the upcoming values will not be matched until there is a new load. So if we have to stop any data which is coming up should not get matched until a new load is coming, then we won't go with this enabling. Dynamic match threshold, it means according to the data which is coming in, if we have to allow dynamically to be controlled by Informatica algorithms, we'll use 0. Otherwise, if we have to enable it, that okay, what threshold I am giving that should meet, we have to make it enable, which means 1. Do we have to match the pending records with a Hofstad indicator of 0? If yes, then we'll go ahead with this. Otherwise, it is unchecked. And by default, we don't select this. Okay. Now coming to the process of matching. So match, what I always go ahead with is it is divided into 3 parts: paths, column, and match rule set. These 3 are together, but they are utilized in their proper manner, one after the other. Whereas primary key match rule set is something, if we know that our multiple source system will be sending us the same primary key, they are storing the data according to the same primary key, then rather than creating this, if you want to go ahead and just create a match rule with primary keys, then we'll go ahead and create match rule sets over here. Otherwise, in generic scenarios, we are using these 3. Okay. So first thing is paths. When these are being used. So let's say if you have any child table which is contributing in parents match to find out where the duplicate is, or is there any duplicate, we create match path. Or in other words, to access the child attributes by standing on parent, or if we are on a child, then to access any other table, we create paths. Which means if I have to use address attribute in party table, then to create a linkage so that I can create a match columns, or to utilize the address attributes in match and merge for party, so that I can find out if the party record is duplicate or not. Only at that time I'll use match path. So how
Yeah,
you will
yeah,
find
yeah.
out, how you will be finding out that the address is same or not? Because your address is stored into different table, right? So how
Okay.
you will go ahead and access the
Maintain that
address in
relation
one
between. Correct.
to find out that.
Okay.
So only for those purpose the match path is utilized. If you do not have any utilization like this, you never go ahead and create match path. So let's say our party table is there. You have to go ahead and see if party is duplicate or not. But you want to go ahead and check that my names are same. So let's say there was a Suzanne, let's say B was there and another Suzanne B was there. Over here with the name, you can say that, okay, this particular person is exactly same, right? But to check if this Suzanne B is same, you need the address of this person and address of this person also to be matched. Then only you can say that this particular person and this person is duplicate. So in these kind of situation, when your data, which you are, or the table where you are going ahead and creating the match rules, over there, if you have to utilize the attribute from any other table, then we go ahead and create paths. So let's say for address, she was living in London and this person was living in, let's say, Germany. Any three one you can say. So these two person becomes two different persons, right? So how did we know that? Due by the address, right? So if I have to use address fields while creating party match and merge, so there should be something so that I can access these attributes, right? So to create a accessibility of another table's attribute, we have to go ahead and create a match path. So it's divided by match path. Then we'll go ahead and create match columns. And with these match columns, rules are being created. So first thing is you need to be clear about why we use paths and what paths are there for. So once let's say we have created the path, so we'll be going ahead and we'll be creating. So I have to go ahead and utilize address, right? So how do we go ahead and create paths? First thing is you'll see the root object. The table name is coming as party, right? If I'll go ahead, create. So for creating the match path, we'll be creating a proper database table to store that. We'll go ahead and create address. This will be coming. So you will be able to see what all tables are connected to party table, cross reference and address both. So I'll go ahead and choose this on this particular attribute. We'll go ahead and choose that. So you'll see now it has become a tree structure, right? The component name which was being created, once I'll go ahead and say, it will say that you need the key and the strategies to be set first. Because whenever we go ahead and create a match rule, we need to create all these three for the saving the match rules.
Okay.
You cannot go ahead and just create path or just create the column and you'll be good. Once you'll go ahead and create columns, it will say that, okay, you have created the column, but there is no match rule sets. So you cannot save it. Second part comes in over here as filter. So if you have to filter any records with any columns, that okay, all these records will be only going in, right? This is a early filter.
This
So
filter is for that parent table, right?
you can go ahead and select any table in, not in, correct. So any attribute you can go ahead and select. You can just go ahead and put the values one after the other. It would be in or not in operators. Okay. In the same way, if I'll go into address, it will give me address filters as well. Okay. So it depends on which particular table we have selected up.
Okay.
Okay. So once we have created this one, we'll go into columns. Now, columns are basically divided into two sections. First is match key. Second is match column. So the match key, according to as it's basically a key. So the weightage of the token is more towards a match key. Match column will be contributing towards it to create the token. But the key would be created according to what algorithm it will be using to create that token. So basically match column, what it will do, it will select the algorithm for creating the tokens. It will utilize all the attributes which we will be selecting in the match column and the match key, and then it will be converting all those values into a proper single token for that particular record. Which means if we have 10 match columns, then also a single token will be generated. If we have two columns, we'll be still generating a single column. Now, a match key can be created by utilizing multiple attributes, and same goes for match column. It is not created only with a single attribute. These are a combination of one or more attributes in one column or match key. Clear?
Yes.
Now, as we have these two types, we also have two types of columns or two types of keys as well. First is exact and second one is fuzzy. So these are the column, what type of column we will be creating or what type of key we are creating. Either of these will be creating. So your match key can be only one, but match column can be n number. But match key can be exact or fuzzy. Match columns which we will be creating will be exact or fuzzy per attribute which we are creating the column. So we'll see what I'm actually stating right now. So first is key type. So there are these three types of keys which are being given: person name, organization name, or the address part. Which is the most weighted you want to go ahead with? So we'll say or person. So in the person name, you can see the column type is fuzzy match key, right? So we'll go ahead as we have in the properties, we have gone ahead and utilized strategy as fuzzy. So match key becomes a fuzzy match key. So key will be created over here always. But whereas match columns will be created from over here. So you saw right now, I just added two attributes in one single column for creating the fuzzy key. Is fuzzy match key. If
Yeah,
we'll go ahead and select exact, first we
I
have
think
to
it's
go
still
ahead
fuzzy.
and remove this. You can see right now there is no key,
Yeah.
right? There is only exact column which we'll be able to create.
Mhm.
But in a fuzzy, it will choose our algorithm over here, that what will be the length of the token, what kind of algorithm we'll be utilizing to generate that particular token. Because exact is just an exact, right? It's a basically an equals to sign between two attributes.
So if you select exact and if you're, like choosing, say I have 10 columns in the table and if I'm choosing five out of them, again, that will be kind of a set of attribute, right? Or a combination of.
It will be a concatenation of all the attributes and it will just utilize a equals to sign. If it would be equal, then it will go ahead and say it's a duplicate. Otherwise, it's basically a distinct record.
Okay. So if you select fuzzy, then we'll be limited with those three or four key types, right? So will that
No,
cover
we will
all kind of
be
data?
we will the match key becomes a fuzzy, but
Okay.
you can create columns which will be exact. So we'll be going through that. So we'll
Okay.
use person name. Okay, this is our match key. Now, how to create columns? You can see there are two add buttons over here, right? One is kind of blurred and one is clear, right? So this is what exact column will be there for. Then we can go ahead and add. So you can see match path over here. I can go ahead and select the address and all these things will come into play. Field name, now I have to select the field name. Part one will be this. And I can go ahead and add another. So with that, I need to go ahead with postal area code or address part two. Address part two will contain my city and my country. These things are there. So I created exact attribute and fuzzy columns with a fuzzy match key because my strategy was fuzzy, right?
Okay. So just I didn't notice that because for address part one and part two it is fuzzy and registry ID it's exact, right? So
Correct.
how that address part one and part two came as fuzzy? Was there anything selected for that?
Yep. So
Sorry, I
I'll
didn't
just click.
notice it. Okay.
I clicked from over here,
Oh, okay,
not
okay.
from
The
over here.
blurred
I
one.
clicked over here.
Okay, so if you select fuzzy over there, still you will have the capability to create an exact match also.
So I'll go ahead over here. I'll choose the address part 9192. Let's say if I want all the things to be in one single part. So I'll just go ahead. Okay, I just created that. So it would be like until I save it. So it's like no fuzzy rules have been defined. Do you want to save? I'll say yes. So it will save it. And why I'm saving it? Because I just deleted the address part. So to refresh itself, I just went ahead with that. So address, field name. When I always remember when you'll go ahead and add a exact, you have to type the name. But when you are selecting fuzzy, you have to select the name.
Okay.
Okay. So address part one. I'll just go ahead and put all the attributes over here itself. So if you'll go over here, you'll see all attributes which are coming from address table and which path it is utilizing. So we created 3 columns with one match key, right? So basically my token will be generated with all of these combined. So with these 3, only one single token will be generated.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. But by using a fuzzy match, the token which will be generated, let's say XYZ, whatever the token is generated, okay, that token will be matched with another token, right? And using a fuzzy match key, it will give us a probabilistic match, that how much percentage it is going in. And in the rules, I can state that a rule set is created with multiple rules, right? So we'll be going into that. So in that, we can suggest multiple n or n number of rule set that, okay, if these things are there, then also it's a duplicate. If that is exactly same, then also it's a duplicate. So that kind of way we can go ahead. So in a fuzzy strategy, you can still create a exact rule to showcase if that particular record is a duplicate or not. So match columns is clear or not? The rules, how we'll be creating the exact or anything, that will be, we'll see that, how we'll
Okay.
go ahead and do that. But are the match columns clear? What will be done in match columns in the backend once we create that?
Yeah, based out of these columns, it will generate a token, and based on the token, it will do the comparison to see
Correct,
the match percentage.
right? So over here, there is a key width. Normally we use standard. In limited, there are chances of going on overmatch, and extended is a limit until and unless we are very much good with all the tuning which we have done, then only we go ahead with extended as a key width. So if your token is, let's say, generated with 14 character length, one is generated with 22 length, and the other one is generated as 30 length. And then it is going with like over here, it is matched with 11 characters. Over here, it is matched with, let's say, 15 character length. So the probability or the percentage will be differs, right? Because over here it would be around 8%, 8 or 9%, right? Per attribute match, I would say. Over here that goes down to 5 or 4 point something. Over here that more goes down to 3%. So as less the length would be, the more number of chances to get a higher percentage of match. And as long as the length would be, it would be less and less chances of getting a proper percentage or threshold for stating the duplicate. So higher percentage match, but do we require a extended length? So this will give us a issue of overmatch, that the data which was not even same is also getting a higher trust score. Not trust score, basically the threshold.
Can you just explain it with example actually, like with some sample data if you have, because I'm not able to visualize this thing properly.
Okay. So one was written as 1, 2, 3, 4, some long lane. London. Okay. The other was 1, 2, 3, same long lane London. So how much these two address are similar? If I'll go ahead with a shorter version, I don't know what kind of token will be generated out of it. But I'm 100% sure that this attribute and this attribute, these two will give me a higher percentage of match score when I use limited, but a lower percentage when I use extended, right? But if let's say this was not there, so creating a limited one will shorten my token creation from this particular entire data, whereas extended will increase my token length, which will be generated from a shorter value as well. So the impact is, you can say, when you do a like an address with a double S and an address with a single S have a difference of just one S. But if I use the entire length, so let's say one is address and the other one is address. If I'll just create a token, or let's say this is the token which is created by limited, then my percentage score becomes more. Or if I convert this into MD5s and just shorten it, I'll just take 10 characters from there and 10 characters from there. It might be a issue when it will come back to state that, okay, how much percentage that particular record is matching.
Okay. So, I mean, if you can just correct me if I'm wrong, like a token would be basically like kind of say in Informatica, what we
String
do is
value.
like the MD5 function. So basically, like you selected an address part one, address line one, line two, city. So basically, it would be using those three columns, and with that it would be creating a token. And if it is a limited, so it would be basically taking, say, from 0 to
Values, correct,
10
correct,
characters or
correct.
something like that, use that as a
No,
like.
no, it won't use segment of value. It will use the entire value, but the value which will be, or the token which will be created out of it, will be very short.
Basically, token, if like in layman's term, we can understand like when I'm writing a query and I'm doing a where say first name is like something.
Correct,
So it would be kind of like the number of characters that I give in that like
correct,
find in for that particular column.
correct. And that
That is
length,
what is meant by key width.
correct. You can go ahead with that as well.
I mean, is this a correct understanding?
The thing which you stated, conceptually it is correct, but in MDM we state it as tokens. So token is something which is generated out of values, like a MD5 function. What MD5 function does is it encrypts your data, or it transforms your data into a alphanumeric value, a single value,
Right.
right? So over here,
Yeah.
token is nothing but one single alphanumeric value. So if the length will be less, the comparison between two tokens will be more, right? Because the percentage of every character matters over here.
And on what basis, like, do you select this key type? Like you have created a
So,
person name, so that is also a combination, like first name, last name, something, or
yes,
okay. Mhm.
the exact can be also treated as with multiple attributes because it's a column. Match column is basically utilized or created by one or multiple attributes. But
Right.
exact will always create a token which will be comparing itself with a exact values. So
Right.
exact means it's an exact, which we cannot say anything other than that. It won't utilize a probabilistic thing with it.
So basically, I think in a for exact match, it would be recommended to use kind of primary columns, right?
Correct. Or
Okay.
like phone numbers or email addresses, because there might be one single value which is different and it makes a whole set different, right? One person number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, and the other person number might be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1. It's a 90% match, but you cannot say that it's duplicate, right? These would be two different people always. One person would be xyz@gmail.com, the other person would be axyz@gmail.com, or xyz1@gmail.com. These might be two different people in an ideal world, right?
Yeah, I mean, from like logical point of view, it might be different, but it can be a data error also. So
Correct. But data error chances are very less than having it stated as it's a data issue, right? If I just give you two numbers, these two numbers, and I don't state the name, I don't state any other thing, then will you treat it as data issue or will you treat it as two different numbers?
Different numbers only, but like it depends, right? Like if it is a phone number, so it should have like 10 digits. Maybe if like
It's
one
a
of the
10
digits.
digit, 1 to 9. One is with ending with 0, and the other one is again ending with 1. Just the 0 and 1 at the end is different. I'm just giving you these two numbers.
Right, then it's a different data.
These two.
Different data. Yes.
Different data, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
until and unless you do not know what is the name of the person, you cannot say that this data was duplicate. Now the data is duplicate. Why? Because over here it is giving me a 0, but over here it is giving me 100 in fuzzy strategy.
Questioning, right?
Right? So it can be, so over here then we go with address. So both live in London in the same on the same address. Now are the person same? Yes.
Mhm.
So that is what match and merge will show us.
Got it. So like I think in almost like 98% of projects, like something a name field or something like that would be considered as
It's
a key,
basically
right?
what I have selected is generic. It will be 99.99% will be there. There would be some exact attribute. The name or the address will become fuzzy match key, and you'll have extra 2 or 3 attributes more according to what party attributes you will be having, like phone number or email or XYZ, whatnot. So those attributes will be created as exact. And accordingly, the match rule sets will be created.
Okay. But in this example that you just you've typed in the notepad, so if like we have a phone number also with the exact match, so in that case it won't create a match, right? Or again we have something like similar to
It
trust
would be
score that you
created
give
for
earlier.
right now. Our fuzzy is being treated. So these two values, I will get a fuzzy score of around 95 to 90% in between that, right? Because from over here it becomes 100. Over here it is 100. And the weightage of this particular name is more. And exact will also give a probability because it is utilized in a single rule set. So we'll be just seeing what is a rule set. So if the entire three things are working together, then it will give out some percentage for me. And if that percentage is crossing my threshold, then these are duplicates.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
So match columns is basically to create tokens, and the keyword we utilize according to what type of attributes we are having. If we are having more number of exact and 1 or 2 fuzzy attributes only, then we can go ahead with limited number because exact will at the end of the day exact will be exact, right?